I'm Alena and welcome to my first video. Well, today I'm gonna tell you how I travel most of the times and I will share my tips and advices with you. Basically, you can travel anywhere with almost no money if you know these easy tricks. I'm just gonna tell you how I travel most of the times, and of course these are not the only ways how you can travel, but these are really nice options how you can enrich your traveling experience with a really low budget. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Alena, I'm 22 years old and I was born in Ukraine. I lived in Russia for a while. I moved to Finland by myself about 3 years ago. Then I went to the UK for an exchange semester, and now I'm on my second exchange in Belgium. So I've lived in 5 countries and I've studied in 4 of them. One of my biggest passions is traveling. Once I started traveling by myself, I just probably cannot stop. Literally, if I have some holidays or if I have some time when I don't have any studies, I just go somewhere. And I don't know, I just think traveling is the best thing ever. Usually I travel really spontaneous, and I will tell you later all those stories about crazy trips, about how I didn't plan anything and I just went somewhere, like to another country, to some new places, and I didn't even know where I'm gonna stay in the evening, or there are so many really insane stories. Well, think about how much money do you usually spend if you go somewhere. Let's say you need to book a hotel, then you need tickets for getting to the place. Then you want probably to eat in some nice restaurants, then some activities and so on. If you count all your costs, it's really a lot. And when you're a student and you want just to travel somewhere, you don't even need all this stuff. So that's why I'm just gonna share my own experience of really spontaneous traveling just with a backpack, and it is something really fun. Even though I travel really spontaneous most of the times, I still have to plan some things before I go somewhere. I want to mention the most important things which you have to keep in mind while planning your trip. So these are transportation, accommodation, and your activities. Well, the first one is transportation. Let's go there. If your traveling destination is far from your place, you usually have to book a flight. I personally check the flights on Skyscanner, and it's a really convenient website to find the cheapest fares for the flights. And if you don't know exactly where you want to go, you can even choose the option everywhere while you search for the tickets, and you can see the cheapest destinations for particular dates. And you can even choose the whole month, so you will see the whole calendar of the cheapest options for the flights. So it's really convenient. The next option is to take a train, which is usually much cheaper than taking a flight, but it really depends on a place, because sometimes the flights and trains have almost the same price, or trains could be even more expensive, so you have to check it in advance. I usually try to check some local websites because usually you can find better deals there, but of course there are also plenty of international bigger websites where you can find all the tickets, and you just have to make small research. I personally would prefer to travel by train because if you travel just with a backpack, it's much more convenient if you go from the center of one city and you arrive to the center of another one. And in case of booking a flight, it's kind of more complicated when you have to think about all those transfers from the airport. You also spend extra money, and it's not always that easy to get from the airport at a particular time, so just keep it in mind. The next option is to take a bus. Well, I travel most of the times within Europe and there are plenty of really cheap buses. Sometimes you can get from one country to another just for 5 euros. There are also other options like car sharing, BlaBlaCar or hitchhiking, but personally I've never done it and I don't really feel that's safe to do it by my own as a solo female traveler. That's why I prefer to take some other transport. The second thing to keep in mind is accommodation. Of course, you can play it safe and book a hotel, but it's not why you are here. In most of the cases, it's the most expensive option, so we're gonna focus on other types of accommodation. Okay, you can book Airbnb. You can also book a hostel, you can do couch surfing, and of course you can stay with your friends. So when I travel by my own, I never book a hotel or Airbnb. So in most cases, I stay either with couch surfing with my friends or I can book a hostel. Well, as I told, in most cases, I travel with couch surfing and I really feel like it's the best way to travel. Well, when you travel with couch surfing is just so amazing experience because when you stay with someone, you feel like you're a guest and of course your host tries to show you around or like you can have some dinners together. So you basically have a person in some place like kind of your friend, but even though you don't know a person in advance, you share this experience with this person. And even if you host people, you share this experience with travelers from all over the world. And this is really amazing. Maybe many of you know that it's free, but it's not even the best thing about couchsurfing. It's much more behind it. Let's say you travel alone and you don't know anyone in a city. And of course, if you can stay in a hotel or a hostel, but you're kind of left by your own in unfamiliar place, and I don't really feel like I would enjoy this experience, even though any type of traveling is good, but I would rather have someone to maybe walk around, and couchsurfing is the best way to meet people. I personally really like to meet local people because they know where the best things are. And you will never find this information on any touristic website or in any touristic book. So just meet local people and they will guide you through their city. As for hostels, I have really mixed feelings about them because from my traveling experience, I had either really good hostels or really bad ones. As I told, I travel really spontaneous and it's really difficult to find a good hostel for a good price on the same day when you arrive somewhere. And usually you have to take just the cheapest option, and these are not the best hostels. I've had really good experiences when I stayed in a hostel and I met some people there. We walked around and it was really fun. But it really depends. And of course, check reviews of the hostels before you're gonna stay there. Otherwise, you have to be prepared to anything. And another option how I travel is just staying with my friends. And for example, I stayed in Finland with my friends whom I met during my studies. I stayed in France with one of my friends whom I met in Finland when he was on exchange there. So that's why I think it's really important to go somewhere abroad because you meet people from everywhere. And it's really nice to meet them again after, I don't know, half a year or after several years in totally different place, like in different circumstances. But it's just, I don't know, the best thing of going somewhere abroad, I think. And let's move to the third point, and this is your activities. Well, I don't really plan my activities in advance, but what I would suggest you is to check the places where you want to go for sure. I had several examples when I wanted to visit some places, but I couldn't go there because there were so many people who booked tickets in advance. for example, when I traveled to Berlin, I wanted to go to Reichstag, if I pronounced it correctly, and it's even free, but when I arrived there were already no tickets. Couldn't go there, but anyway, I think I will visit it another time, but it would be nice if I booked the ticket in advance so I could go there. And the rest is up to you, because obviously people have different interests and ideas how they're gonna spend their time, and I just wanted to share the tricks which I know. And this is it for today, and thank you for watching. If you like this video, give it thumbs up and share it with your friends, because I'm sure you know people who are also on a tight budget and these tips might be useful to them. And if you have any other tips or advices how you can travel with a low budget, please leave them below in the comments, because it would be really interesting for me to see what your advices are. And I'm sure there are other people who are also on a tight budget who would really love to read your comments. And if you have any particular question, I can make a video about it, so just ask me in the comment. And that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and bye!